The future of TV is here. In 2001, Sky Plus launched, and it transformed TV overnight. 20 years later, and Sky has done it again. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Sky Glass, that was supplied by Sky, who are helpfully sponsoring this video. Sky Glass is the next generation of Sky, as unlike every Sky box of old, this box, well, isn't a box, it's a friggin' TV. But not only that, there is something actually far more important at play here. This is the first Sky service that doesn't actually require a dish at all, because all of this is running over the internet. This is a fully fledged Sky service, from the live TV guide with all of the major channels, through to Netflix, Prime, Sky Sports, and of course Sky Movies, all delivered over the net. The day of the dish is over. My immediate question was whether this actually works. Are you going to have issues with image quality? Is it going to start dropping out? Is it going to be really slow? But in actual fact, I haven't really had a single issue with this set when it comes to image quality and when it comes to everything playing back. The biggest factor is of course your individual internet connection, however, as here I'm running an Ethernet cable directly into the TV, and I do have a very reliable fibre connection. If you're using slow, flaky Wi-Fi with frequent dropouts, then this is going to give you some headaches for sure. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the TV set itself though, as this is pretty important when you're quite literally buying a TV. Sky are going for the contract model with this, as while you can buy it outright like a normal TV, the idea is that you pay monthly and then just add the cost onto your rolling Sky subscription. It's 4K UHD with an HDR zone dimming system that comes in 3 sizes, 43, 55 and 65 inches. Here I've gone for the traditional black colour, but you can actually jazz up your living room with a choice of colours if you really want to nail that feng shui. Pricing starts from £649 or $13 a month, but it's pretty cool that if you want a 65-inch TV, you can get it for $21 a month. Sky Glass itself is pretty easy to set up. Once it's powered on, you'll be greeted with a familiar looking menu that has had a little bit of a facelift. I think visually it is very appealing, but it's perhaps a tad oversimplified for the more techie focused user. Everything is arranged into grids with live TV at the top and then a traditional EPG underneath. Browsing live shows is very easy, and finding something in particular is lightning fast, all thanks to the voice search, the same as it was with Sky Q. The same can't be said for the more general navigation though, as while it's certainly not laggy, the speed of the menu system is definitely a tad slower than Sky Q at the moment. It's compounded by the sheer amount of tiles that you can select, so scrolling down through the home menu can actually be a little bit overwhelming, and I feel that Sky can, and almost certainly will, update this to feel a little bit more natural over time. Image quality is absolutely crucial on a TV, and when Sky are handling not only the content delivery but the actual panel itself, then it is more important than ever. In a word, this is a great looking set. I've thrown everything and the kitchen sink at this, from Sky's own channels, to BBC, to Netflix, and of course some proper 4K PC gaming. Firstly, the matte panel, greatly appreciated. I have this in a super bright kitchen, and even with masses of natural light, the screen is actually always easy to see, so props to Sky for that. I am a huge Formula 1 fan, so pretty much all of my watching has been live sport, and here it really excels, with both normal HD and UHD content looking crisp, sharp and striking. Is there a difference versus Sky Q? Maybe, but certainly nothing I can notice. But is this the absolute best looking TV that money can buy? Well, no, obviously not. It's not 8K, and more importantly really, it's not OLED. It would be brilliant if in the future we could see like a Sky Glass Plus or maybe a Sky Glass Premium that did rock one of those panels, but I think for launch they've really nailed that sweet spot between affordability and image quality. Ultimately, this is a great looking set that doesn't cost thousands upon thousands of pounds. If you made it this far into the video, you probably already noticed the chin at the bottom of the set. And this is probably the biggest advantage that this TV has over 99% of the others on the market right now, the baked-in Dolby Atmos soundbar. TVs these days are all about thinness, which is all well and good, but for people that actually care about sound quality, it is a huge compromise. This is the main reason that I've mounted mine in the kitchen. It's because I want a really nice clean setup and I don't want to rely on external speakers or have another soundbar and just all of these cables and wires everywhere. I want it to look good, but I also need it to sound good, because this is quite a big room. And I want to hear the F1 team radio that people always talk over, and it really annoys me. Okay then, Lewis, your dad has been on the phone. Dinner is ready. It is time to come in for your final pit stop. It really does sound fantastic. Again, so much better than pretty much every other TV I've ever owned. Clear vocals, deep bass, plenty of volume, all without distortion. It's great. Is this as good as my dedicated sound system in my living room? Well, no, but that costs thousands of pounds and it has loads of speakers dotted all over the room. It's not really a fair contest. For a TV, this sounds absolutely brilliant. Because this is an internet-based TV, you might be wondering, how do you record TV? Well, for better or worse, you don't and you can't. The main reason for this is because for 99% of your usage, it's just not needed anymore. Everything is already online, and because you access it in exactly the same way as you would with Sky Q, you just don't notice that you're missing it. Just hit the add button and then add it to a watch list for later. Having said this, you can still pause live TV though, so if you do need a pause for a moment, maybe it's dinner time, you can. The only problem that I really have with this system though is that it's just not really ideal for live sports. Because if you're watching it live, then obviously it works as Sky Q would. But what I found that I personally would do would be to maybe go out with like the family on a Sunday and I have to record the race. I know it sucks, but then I'll watch it a little bit later, like 3-4 hours after when I get in. The problem with this is that there might be something on there on demand for me to watch, but there also might not. There's no real way of making sure I can watch a full rerun of the race without just hoping at the moment. And I'm not really sure how Sky can get around this. To be fair, there is like a half solution at the moment. If you do want to watch something from the start, regardless of whether it's sport or like a normal program, then most things you do have the option to actually watch it from the start, which is pretty cool. But again, if you're watching like a football match or something and it's 2-1 up at half time, well, you know it's 2-1 up. So watching it from the start doesn't really help you. Again, this isn't an issue for most of what I watch, as ultimately it's going to be on iPlayer, 4OD or Sky On Demand. But then this in itself is also a little bit more hassle than it was on Sky Q, as you first need to log into every service on the box individually, though you do only need to do this once. This TV also has some teething issues at the moment, though it should be noted that Sky are actually being brilliant at fixing them very quickly through over-the-air updates, and a lot of the problems that I did have at the start, things like random crashing with the system UI and a little bit of lagginess, have pretty much now gone, which is brilliant. An unresolved issue though is with HDMI CEC, the handshaking system that devices use to communicate with each other. At present, while eARC delivers Dolby Atmos audio to my living room AV receiver, the handshaking fails, and automatic input switching and powering on functions need to be disabled to avoid these horrible weird looping problems. Furthermore, there's currently no game mode for the TV, so while I was happy to play Forza Horizon on this, there's a touch too much input lag for this to be properly branded as a gaming TV. But as it's so early in the game, and Sky Q was of course so incredibly polished, I do have faith that all of these things will get fixed in the not too distant future. It's just a shame that it has launched with a few teething issues still intact. However, my main gripe isn't actually with Sky Glass at all. Not the TV, it's with this thing, the Sky Puck. On paper, this thing is friggin' awesome, and I could not wait to get one. It's essentially the Sky Glass, but without the TV. A tiny internet box that brings the same Sky functionality to any TV that you already own. I hooked mine up to my OLED set, and watching Sky F1 in 4K UHD from something this tiny is proper next gen, ladies and gentlemen. The gripe, however, is that this thing has a lot of bugs at the moment. For one, it's a fair bit slower than Glass TV. It is getting faster with updates, but there's definitely quite a bit of room for improvement. The image quality looks identical to Glass TV, which is great, but while I haven't had any dropouts per se, I do get some weird buffering issues every 10 to 15 minutes. It's weird as it doesn't exactly cut out. It's not like those old days of when something would... What happens is that the audio keeps going as in time, but then you get some weird buffering issues with the picture where it sort of goes slow and then it speeds up and catches up with where it was. I mean, I can still watch live sport and like it's fine, I'll get over it. But I mean, if you're paying for a service like this, it's really not very good at all. My biggest issue with it though is that it's just unreliable. It turns on most of the time when you wake it up, and then there are times that it just doesn't and it needs a hard reset. Like, why Sky? This is such a significant issue, but this is a launched product. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Again, the good news is that this is getting better over time. It's already improved quite a lot and it is a lot more reliable, but until you can just press the power button and this turns on and you can watch your channels, it is a little bit, I have to say though that on the whole, Sky Glass is a real winner, and when internet speeds are getting faster and faster, there's just no real reason to rely on dishes. To be clear, at the moment, Sky Glass is still slightly quirky, but the amount of improvements that I've already seen to the TV is very, very promising. The main takeaway really is that if you already have Sky Q, you've got it set up and it's working fine, then this isn't necessarily an upgrade, it's almost like an alternative. I imagine that this is going to change over time when more and more features come to Sky Glass over the web, and they're probably selling this puck standalone, I'm not sure, but I guess that makes sense. But ultimately, if you're looking for a brand new TV that's got the best of Sky in it, it accesses pretty much everything you want all in one place, absolutely no satellite dish required, then Sky Glass is definitely worth checking out. And if you do want to learn a little bit more, then I'll leave links to this down in the description below. Smash that like button, get yourself subscribed, let me know your thoughts on Sky down below. Will you be going for Sky Glass? Do you think this is the future? Or are you fine with Sky Q? Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one. You good boy?